Ba-bam! What is going on? It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. A beautiful day in the neighborhood. Won't you be my neighbor and talk to me about watches? It is beautiful out, but it is still cold out as I'm making this video today, as we're sharing this hobby of ours, yours and mine. And this is a summer watch I'm wearing, but I just got it back in from service. It had been gone for quite a little while, and I'm excited to talk about it because the Hobby of Ours channel has invented a new watch category called the steak watch. Let's check it out. The channel has recently been exploring just one watch, a one watch collection, a one watch possibility, and that's a lot of fun. A lot of folks, of course, advocate for the 3-watch collection. I've never been one to sign on for the 3-watch collection. At a minimum, it needs to be 4, and I actually advocate for 5 if you're going to be, heading down the minimalist. Okay, what are the 4? If you're going to have a 4-watch collection: diver, dress, chronograph, but you could substitute complication in for that, and the last one, beater, which I don't like that word, knock-around watch. Number 4 is always a G-Shock as far as I'm concerned. And then the 5-watch collection, the 5th one, wild card. Gives you some flexibility to goof off, have something fun with number 5. If I was ever to be a minimalist, it would be the 5-watch collection. And as I understand from collectors, as you go throughout your journey, you start out with a few, you get a whole bunch, you get way too much, you start paring down, and you eventually end up with a more modest collection. That kind of makes sense. But those are mine. Diver, dress, chronograph, can be aviation themed, can be motorsport themed. And I think some people throw in field watch as one. There's a bunch of different things, whatnot. I think the field watch has overlap with beater watch, and as much as a field watch in true military fashion was meant to go into war, you don't get a better knock-around watch than that purpose. So, do we really need a 6th? We do. Steak watch. What is a steak watch? Well, it's a watch to time your steak when you're grilling. And with summer coming, I'm going to be doing some grilling, and I need a steak watch. So, D, there are plenty of options out there. We do not need a steak watch. Yes, a chronograph times stuff, and you could certainly use it to time a steak. But those little subdials, I need glasses, and I'm avoiding getting them. So looking at my chronograph to time a steak, I don't know. Especially if there's going to be a pool involved, and most chronographs aren't safe around the pool. Obviously there are some, yes, of course. But, alright, D, dive watch. My dive bezel can be used to time a steak. That's true. And the bezel on a dive watch is certainly the poor man's chronograph all the way around too. But in Hobby of Ours true fashion, let's make it more complicated. I'm going to upcycle, which is probably the best possible word for it, the Regatta Timer complication. And I'm going to dub every Regatta Timer a steak watch. So, yes, even Rolex makes a steak watch. Now, why? I don't have a yacht, let alone have a yacht that I would be racing, and there needs to be an alternate use for your yacht timing complication. Now, this Tutima yachting watch, it has the Lemmy inside. they modified the Lemania 5100 to have the alternate hand, and they just changed the colors on the dial for the three different colors. The let's see here, blue, light blue, red, and green. Each one is 5 minutes long, 1 minute increments, to suffice for a regatta race timing function. And I bought this. It's titanium, so yes, it wears big, but it's light. And I got this on strap because the price was far better than the ones going on the bracelet. And the titanium bracelet as an add-on is $800, which I'm not doing. This is a summer watch. It's meant to get wet, and it looks great on the silicone strap with titanium buckle. This was not my first stake watch that I ever desired or whatnot, but I just found it and I fell in love with it, so I nabbed it. My ultimate stake watch is the Omega NZL 32, and the Regatta timing complication is very unique. Most of them have big circles on them, and like 5 circles, and each one changes color after 1 minute elapses. So first circle goes from blue to red, then the second one goes from blue to red at 1 minute intervals. Perfect for stake timing, because generally speaking, you want to keep your stake on one side for 2 minutes. Maybe, actually, the first time I put it on there, I leave it on for 3 minutes, then I flip it 2 minutes, and then depending on the thickness, it may or may not be done, or it may need to go to the upper deck and continue cooking there, or it may need to go back and forth for another minute or two. Depends on how hot your grill's running, and I certainly operate differently when it's in a pan on a stove and then going into the oven. 5 circles, 5 minutes, perfect. Upcycle, that's what's up. Stake watches. I would never use the Rolex Yachtmaster for us. I look at that thing and it's just too busy for me. But Bulgari makes a good looking one. Frederic Constant makes a gorgeous one, quartz. Seiko has one. Alpina has a beautiful one, an absolutely beautiful one, although it is quite large. I think it's 44, 45 millimeters. If Alpina's stake watch was smaller, I would have probably picked that one up. But the Omega NZL 32, I love that watch. It's in the Aquaterra case though, so it's huge, way huge. I bought one for a great price and had to send it back because the discs were not working properly, and I didn't want to pay for that service. It's unfortunate because they're shooting up, and I think they've gotten past the point of no return for me. You can't find them for less than $300, and I think the one I got was $1,800, and there's one I missed on one of the forums for $1,500. One of my great regrets. This wasn't quick enough. But I'm not paying over $3,000 for that watch. It's not worth it to me personally. But I'm hunting them. If I can get a deal under $3, like between $2 and $25, I'd probably go for it. It's a big watch though. And I actually have another stake watch. Ooh, I better watch my driving. Almost met a stranger. The Heuer. I have a Heuer Regatta Timer, and it's one of, I think these were made in the 70s, and it uses a Lemania-based movement that I think was in the Aquastar and was licensed out. And it's a bit dated of a design. It's a watch I bought I wanted to drop the movement out and put it into a different case from the period, and it just got out of hand. I need some coffee, man. Oh, D, what do you drink your coffee out of? I drink my coffee out of a Yeti tumbler. 12 ounces. These are fabulous. These, not a sponsored video, but these are rad. A bunch of colors. I actually picked up a couple of these in the Mustang color. I had to drive an hour to get them because it was discontinued. I found it at an Ace Hardware store of all places. Like, we're selling them on eBay for like $50. Insane. No thank you. Ended up picking up a retail, 25 bucks. That was rad. I have just realized that I passed the tailor that I need to go to. So I'm going to press this on pause and I'm going to be right back with you. And we're back. Got my clothes dropped off at the tailor's and getting back to it with the steak watch. Omega released another interesting steak watch called the Jacques Mayol Apnea. They released it in black dial, white dial, and it actually has 7 circles. And that's because of Jacques Mayol is a free diver, world-class free diver. And I don't know what the significance of 7 minutes is for him, but that watch is thick, boys. That's a thick brick right there. And I don't think I need 7 circles for a steak. 7 minutes. If that watch wasn't quite as thick, I'd be tempted to pick one up. The time was where you could get those. I passed on one at 16. I kind of regretted that, but it's so thick. So thick. You can't get those for under 26 now. And that's a very rare use. It's just the thickness is just too prohibitive for me. I think it's borderline 17, 18 millimeters thick. Too thick. Too thick for those extra 2 circles. Beautiful though. So I'm going to still hunt the Omega NZL 32 because I do love it. It's beautiful, and it's got its pushers on the left side of the case, whereas most chronos are on the right. This watch, I adore it. The Tutima yachting. I guess I don't really need the Omega NZL, but who needs more than one watch anyways? There you have it. Regatta watch upcycled to steak watch. It's gonna be a thing. Gonna be a thing. Plenty to choose from. Gorgeous. Probably a perfect summer watch. Whether you go low end, high end. I am gonna look up those Alpinas. Maybe they make a smaller one because I think the layout and the edges are just really, really attractive. And I'm gonna keep my eyes out for the NZL, of course. Hope you've enjoyed this little trip through this hobby of ours. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you are not subscribed already. Trying to meet my next subscriber goal, and looking forward to bringing you along with that. So have yourself a fabulous day. Peace. Somewhat moreover, I don't need a boat. I need a friend with a boat. Looking at you, Franklin.